Hello and welcome to video entry number 52. Woo, it's my birthday episode. Today was as you would expect with Dr. K, aka Dr. Kevorkian, Dr. Absolutely Doom and Gloom, the guy who wants to shuffle me off to the morgue. Yeah, anyway, he was his typical self. We started the meeting with, how are you feeling? And I'm like, pretty good, okay, so this is also really great. So I had my IV this morning, and after I had breakfast before I left the house. I'm not currently on keto. I'm trying to get back to the anti-inflammatory, no sugar diet. Anyway, it's a battle. Anyway, and had steel cut oats this morning with blueberries and raspberries, both cancer fighters. And then I had, when I went to the IV place, they have this amazing all-natural smoothie bar with and so I was able to have natural, they make it like nut butter with protein, like a vegan protein powder that has no sugars and like a crazy amount of protein, and then coconut milk and what else was in there? Like a cacao powder, so it's like tasted chocolatey, and it was anyway, it was delicious and filled with protein and calories. Yay! And then I had lunch with Quinn after the IV thing. We went to one of my favorite places, Jerusalem Grill. There's a big shout out to them in Langley. I love you guys. Anyway, they make beautiful Arabic food that is fresh ingredients, like the tabbouleh, which is mostly fresh parsley and lemon juice and some onion and diced up tomatoes, really fine. Bulgur wheat barely in there, which I prefer. I like bulgur wheat is kind of so it's very, it's practically non-existent, and it's just fiber and delicious lemon juice and the power. And they have these pickled, well, not pickled, it's salted almost. They're brined radishes and a nice green salad with just a vinaigrette on it. And then they made these falafel balls extra garlicky for me because garlic is a good cancer fighter, and they know I have cancer, and they're just the sweetest. Anyway, and so I had those with some hummus, and it was fantastic. Anyway, so I had that and a big glass of water, and then we went to my cancer appointment with Dr. Keith. So we go in, and the first thing they do is they weigh me, because of course, and my weight was a little bit up. So Keith was like that Skexy, oh, your weight is up. Oh, your weight is stabilized. Okay. Anything new to report this week? And I do have soreness on my gums, but it's almost like if you brush too hard and it feels a bit tender and raw. So I've been gargling with warm salt water. And one of the things that is a side effect of chemo is that you get mouth sores, because of course you're breathing out chemo toxins. I'm sweating them, I'm peeing them, I'm pooping them. They're gross and coming out of my body, the ones that aren't, currently attacking the Merles and the Zazel. So yeah. Um, and so that toxicity in my mouth, it needs to like, I need to make sure that I'm brushing after every meal, and again rinsing my mouth out periodically, because we don't want chemicals to basically start eating away at my gums. Yeah, it's pretty gross. But people have, okay, and this is, okay, let me get into the story here. And so I tell him, I've got this happening. And he's like, oh, well, maybe we should reduce the chemo. And then that symptom will go away. I'm like, no, we're not reducing the chemo. Full steam on the chemo. What can we do about the mouth sores? And he's like, oh, nothing. And I'm like, so he didn't even suggest gargle with salt water, which I looked up on the internet, because why would I wait for a doctor to fucking help me? Anyway, so it's like, which is something you should do. But there are also apparently medications for chemo patients if they have mouth sores to help them with that. And he was like, no, he's like, oh, and I said, oh, nothing. Like, I'm like, because my mom was like, well, don't forget to talk to Dr. Keith and get that prescription for whatever that med is that the pharmacist told her about, that I should, but it's like it's not like something you can buy off the shelf. You have to have a prescription for it. So the pharmacist knew that there was this drug that could help with mouth sores for chemo patients. And this fucking guy who's an oncologist is like, there's some magic like mouthwash that's like, it just kind of numbs your gums and then you don't. And so I'm thinking to myself, do I really need a numb mouth so I can potentially scrape them more and make them more sore unintentionally? Like, I would rather be aware that there is like a problem and trying to, soothe the problem. But he was like, yeah, there's nothing like that. And I'm like, and okay, maybe I find out that that is the case. But right now I feel like, can I trust anything you say? And so I was like, okay, well, I'll take the magic mouthwash, because apparently this is a prescription as well. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll take that. And I'm not arguing with him. I'm not saying, what? Which is what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay. And he was like, all right. He's like, how are you? Like, what other symptoms? And of course, I'm having the neuropathy. Is that I'm saying it right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The nerve damage in my fingers that happens with cold. So it wears off as my, like, time between chemos goes down. So like in the 2 week, or get the 2 week spread, I guess it is, that I go between chemos, my hands are almost normal by the time I'm ready to have the other round. This is what I found so far. And apparently it builds up, which of course there are going to be side effects because I am poisoning my entire body. But it's probably necessary. It is. I have lymph node things. I have the friggin' crazy merled ass liver going on with all the tumors. And then I have my pancreas as well. So there's, and there could be other places because they haven't done a PET scan. They haven't done a full on, like, let's search everywhere scan. So it's just like, let's nuke everything. And that's the right move. Honestly, it is. And, but then he says to me, well, you can only be on the oxyplatin, which is the first bag that I have when I go in for the 3 bags that I take when I'm at the chemo lounge. The chemo lounge. Anyway, and he's like, you can only be on this for 4 months. And then it's protocol to stop it. And I'm like, okay. I said, I have read case studies where people have gone an entire year on oxyplatin. And these, by the way, these 2 particular case studies that I'm thinking of are people who have put their cancer into remission. All right. So, like, they didn't stop at 4 months. And I'm thinking, I'm not stopping at 4 months if, like, we're looking at, my body and we're not even close to, like, no trace of disease. I'm like, there's no stopping chemo. I'm like, the chemo train must keep rolling until the cancer is gone. And that's the name of that tune. So I was like, no. Anyway, I said to him, like, okay, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Because I'm thinking, I am so getting out of your care before this goes down. Because, again, Dr. Renetta was like, anytime you want to make the leap over to Vancouver and have chemo here and have all the care happen here, just let us know. We just don't want any delays. And I'm at a place right now where I can't have any delays. Like, I have been delayed enough. It is like, intuitively, I know delays cannot happen right now. I must have chemo, boom, 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 and I need to get to histotripsy yesterday. So, which brings me to the next thing, which was I mentioned the histotripsy thing. And he was like, oh, well, we should, pause chemo while you do this. And I'm like, no, this is like in complementing the chemo. It is not about like stopping one thing and then going and doing this other thing and then coming back to this. This is like chemo, histotripsy, chemo, 6 to 8 weeks between histotripsies, but chemo, 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 chemo. And then, I go back for another round of histotripsy. So, like, to me, this is like a plan. This is like, and I just have to keep this body strong, healthy, ready to fight, like boom, boom, boom. No giving up. Never give up, never surrender. Go down swinging, and I don't plan on going down, fall down 7, get up 8. So yeah, anyway, as always, Dr. K, the killer, the guy who, like, Quinn and I walked out of there and I said, tell me what you think about that meeting. Like, what do you think the vibes were? And he was like, it felt like he wanted you to, like, just give up and die. Like, stop trying to do this. And, like, and any win, like, for example, my weight stabilizing, or the fact that I feel okay and I didn't have any nausea and vomiting, and my bowel movements are starting to become normal again. He was like, kind of like, I would want to say pouty. And then, like, Grinch like glee when, shit's not awesome. And I'm like, yeah, such a different experience from my conversation with Dr. Renetta Pixiotos. Like, I just, it's a completely different place, like 100%. Yeah. And so then I came home, hung out with my folks and my twins, found out very happily that my twins have 2 different graduation days because they go to a different high school. So I was like, oh, thank God, that's not a conflict. And also had a fantastic walk with Georgia. And this is, I should have mentioned it in yesterday's video, day number 2 of awesome connection with my girl, my G. Yeah, so that was really, really good because that was needed and I felt infinitely better. Oh, speak of the devil, there she is. I'm like, come here. Come into the video. Say hi to everybody.
Look at me.
Yeah, my girl. I love you. All right. Get some sleep. It's like late. Laundry. I know. Yeah. And then now it is bedtime. And tomorrow is a busy day of nailing down dates for histotripsy and booking flights and getting paperwork into my and I want to say, so I have a life insurance policy with foresters. If you don't have life insurance, this is like, look into foresters. They just have a great policy. I have an amazing rep, but I really like what they do. They have all kinds of stuff for kids who could be left behind, to help them. And anyway, I like their format. It's really great. And they're also allowing me to pull money out, and get an advance on my death benefits. To, again, jokes on them, I'm totally living. But which is awesome because it's going to give me the opportunity to have more histotripsy done in those 6 to 8 week intervals. Yeah, so that's awesome. I just want to get to the point where I feel like we're beating it back a little bit. I still feel like there's that's not happening yet, which again, I feel anxiety and yeah, but it will happen. It will come. Medicine is poisoning me as we speak, and that's good. And I am fighting. So yes. And this is a very long video today for no reason, really. I hope everybody had a great day. And I will see you in episode 53. Have a great night.